You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's $1 Million Listing After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's $1 Million Listing After Show.
Hey, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. Jen's looking a little bit different today.
Well, I cut my hair and went blonde, you know.
Yeah, no, this is my mom. I have a special guest joining us. Yay, that's right. For $1 Million Listing Miami Recap, we are on episode 7. It's the finale next week.
Wow.
It's called Going Big. And yes, my mom is joining us today. And she's not just my mom. She is an executive coach. And basically that means that she helps people play nice in the sandbox, essentially. And she's the owner of a $1 million home that's on the market. So she's going to bring a really unique perspective today. Thanks for joining me, Mom.
Well, you bet. This is a pleasure. And it's so fun, like you said, looking at it from 2 angles. First of all, having a house that I want to put up for sale that is over $1 million. I was listening to all the techniques from the show and getting a lot, and I'd love to discuss those. And yeah, being a coach that goes into companies, I was looking at the dynamics of negotiation and how do they go back and forth. So I can't wait to talk about that.
So many dynamics. And you know who might be able to give you a nice perspective on your home right now is Sam Debianchi, because we have her on the line right now. Hi, Sam.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hi, Sam.
We're good.
You might be able to teach us how to play nice in the sandbox. That might be the basis of this entire show tonight, if that's the case.
Well, it's not always about playing nice in the sandbox. It's about playing in the sandbox. And I loved watching the negotiation back and forth. You go, girl, getting 35,000. I even love the way you said 35,000, not per month, just 35,000. That was perfect. I love that.
And Sam, I've been a huge fan of yours from the very beginning. Just first of all, you're wonderful and so likable, but also I love you're the first female real estate agent on this entire franchise. So good for you. Congratulations. So glad you're bringing the girl power to this franchise. How has that been to play in the sandbox, to use your term, Mom, with the guys?
With the guys.
I mean, I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I'm definitely by far the most masculine out of our trio.
You know what? That's so funny. That's, I mean, in a great way, because obviously you're beautiful and you have lots of femininity qualities as well, but you're strong and I love it.
I'm just so focused on the deals and getting the deals done and making sure my client's happy. And you know, the boys are great, but I think my approach is definitely a little bit different. I think when it comes to being a female, we tend to listen a little bit more, a little bit less.
Yes.
And I personally see that. I see that's the difference, because when we film, we don't get to see how everyone else is coming off, and we only kind of work with ourselves and our clients. So it's really interesting to see this all play out on television. You know what
I liked? I liked the way you said on the show about, geez, sometimes people want to come to me and they want to give me these overpriced listings. And you basically said, no, I'm not doing that. And I like no more. And you could just feel you laying down that boundary, and you basically educated them and said, listen, I understand that's what you have into the house, but here's the deal. And then you said, here's an option. And I like the way you didn't take the house at a higher listing and then, like we saw on the show later on, trying to get them to go down and down and down and down when all along you knew that they couldn't get that. So you came up with a different solution, which was the leasing, and I thought that was fabulous. And that was a really playing nice in the sandbox. It was a win-win. It was awesome.
And obviously that was a lesson that you learned. So it was really neat to see you grow in that way this season. What are some other lessons that you've learned throughout all this?
There's a lot of lessons, and I've been in this business for 3 years. And I do have a lot to learn, and I know that. I've grown myself extremely, extremely quickly. But with that said, there's so much more that I need to still surpass, and there's a lot of different obstacles. And one of them is, you know, how to really break into that larger market and get in that over $5 million list.
And what are you going to do for that? What have you come up with some thoughts and strategies?
I'm going to keep on hustling. I can't tell you specifics, but what I can tell you is, you know, in everything in time, as long as you stay focused and committed, things start to happen. And I know that because that's how I've grown myself. Mm-hmm. So, you know, at times the boys will make comments, or, you know, you don't have this or you don't have that, but
they're just being boys.
What's that? Oh, the boys.
Yeah, they're just being boys teasing you.
It's just, yeah, I'm happy where I am. I've grown very, very quickly, and I'm ready to take over.
But you're smart about that, because you know what? You work just as hard for a $10 million sale as you do for a $2 million sale, right? It's the same process, but so why not get the bigger one?
You know what? You can get 5 $2 million sales a month or every other month, and that's still just great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now, we've gotten a few teasers that you might be going with a larger real estate company. Now, I know you can't give it all away, but can you give us any insight on what direction your company and your involvement with another company might be going?
Sure. I mean, I've always debated, and I've been thinking, what's the right direction? Is the reason why I'm not getting certain listings because of the fact that I'm not with a bigger company? Do I want to essentially give away everything that I've worked so hard to build and then move with a bigger company? I don't know. I mean, it's a constant battle in my mind. What is it going to take to get to that next level? So
there's a phrase I teach in my executive coaching, and it's such a simple one, but it's how might I? How might I keep my company and get those bigger listings? And just to focus on that one question and let the chatter of all the negativity and the limited thinking go away and see what comes up. How might I keep my company and get those bigger listings? I wonder what would come up for you when you just focused and meditated on that.
I bet you didn't think you were going to get some free coaching today, did you, Sam?
You know, I can't help myself. It's just in my blood. You know,
therapy session.
I mean,
anytime you have our number, just call us up. I love it. Okay, so obviously you have so much experience in real estate, but TV, this is probably a new thing, and that's a beast in itself. What is it like being a part of a reality TV show?
I just want to know, can you go to the grocery store without makeup? That would be my big question.
So, listen, okay. So, first off, I actually do have television experience.
Oh, you do?
I speak on Fox News and Fox Business about the housing market, and that stuff is live.
Right.
So, you either know it or you don't, and you hope for the best. Unfortunately, I know my stuff. But when it comes to reality television, yeah, I mean, God, sometimes I'm looking at my makeup and
which is beautiful, by the way.
What's that?
I think your makeup always looks gorgeous. I was noticing tonight. I was like, who does her makeup? Do you do your own, or do you have a makeup artist?
Well, it was, you know, here and there. You know when I've done it myself, because I'm kind of such a hot mess express. It's very noticeable. It's like, what was she thinking? And then when I look glamorous, like today's episode, definitely I was more on the glamorous side. That was a professional. I definitely need professional help getting myself together.
We all do. Oh, well, you're gorgeous. So how is it balancing your personal and professional life? Because obviously you're working a ton because you're great at what you do. So what is it like? I know that you have a boyfriend. Are you still with the boyfriend?
I am still with my sexy
Yay!
He's still with me. He's still putting up with me. It's challenging. It's, you know, and it's challenging too because of being a female. Mm-hmm. And, generally when you work around the clock, you have your own business, you're out and about. I mean, being a realtor is like being the mayor. You're constantly out at events, you're shaking hands, kissing babies, meeting new people, you're constantly hustling for the next deal. So that takes a toll. And being a female, it's a guy, a lot of guys, not every guy, but, they want someone to be making them dinner, whatnot. And I would love to do more of that, but it's tough right now. And I think I'm very lucky I'm in the position where my boyfriend understands that I'm in a huge part of my career. And he's letting me ride my ride, and he knows that I've worked so hard to get to where I am, and I'm very, very lucky. And I also have amazing friends, and I'm sure you see on the show I have a great, great family.
Oh, yeah. Your dad seems so supportive. Now, is your boyfriend at all intimidated with your success? I'm just curious.
No.
That's
no.
great.
Keep
him.
Yeah, that's
sexy,
amazing.
not intimidated with your
Seriously,
success.
you got
I say
a good
keep
catch. Good for you. Did you meet him in Miami?
I met him. This is the best story ever.
Let's hear it.
Both of us we were in this magazine as the best catch. I was single for 7 years prior to meeting him. Yeah, so he was one of the guys, and I was one of the girls. It was like 3 guys and 3 girls. And then a year later, we met once during that time. It was an event. A year later, he reached out to me on Facebook, and he said, I love the way that you market and you promote yourself in business. I'd love to meet with you over coffee or a drink.
Oh, nice.
So obviously, I analyze everything, and I mean, you've all seen what he looks like. I mean, he's a looker.
Very handsome.
We're not doing coffee, sweetheart. We're going to go in for a drink or 3, and we're going to become best friends. And yeah, it's just like closing the deal. He was kind of like a pocket listing. He wasn't necessarily, active looking to be sold, but I put him under contract, had an inspection, made sure you're appraised, and I closed the deal.
There you go.
Treated him like
there
a
you
listing.
go. I love it.
You know what I love about talking to you right now is you have so many one-liners in the reality show, but sometimes I'm skeptical sometimes of people on reality TV, like did a producer feed them that line? But I can tell from talking to you that you're really just that witty and funny. I love it.
I speak in metaphors.
That's
if you watch
awesome.
my live interviews on when I go on talking about the housing market, I always explain things in metaphors. It's the only way I know how to speak.
Well, and people remember that too. That's
it's a great way to communicate. Right. That's awesome.
So I want to know how you closed the deal on this show. You said you had been on TV before, but how did you get this particular show?
So this show, like I said, I already was on TV discussing the market, and I had a pretty good following from that just because I was funny. I would compare marriage and dating to buying and renting, and I kind of made real estate fun, which is how I think it should be. And so I also have a few different newspaper columns that I write.
Good for you.
Locally and nationally, and I was kind of just hustling my butt around, and it finally got noticed.
That's
good
awesome.
for you. You go, girl.
Well, we won't take much more of your time, but one last question for you. What can we expect in the finale?
We can expect a whole lot of change and growth.
Ooh.
And positive, just overall positive. It's just moving forward, progression, but all good things.
Awesome.
Oh, well, I cannot wait.
Right. You got us on the edge of our seat right now.
I know, you did a good job with that little teaser. All right. Well, Sam, thank you so much, and good luck to you, and hopefully we'll talk to you again
And Sam,
soon.
I just want to say I love your name. I love boy names for girls. That's why unisex. That's why I called Alex Alex. She was going to be Christina, but forget Christina, she's Alex.
Yes,
so I
unisex
just love
names
that.
are the best. Go us.
Yes. Well, thank you. Have a great evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to chat
as
with
well.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
She's fun.
She's so fun. And like I told her, I'm just so glad that that's really what she's like.
Yes.
Is that she's just so witty and
right.
Yeah, I love her. Okay, but let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Let's talk about Chad. So Chad's the handsome one. We love him. You can tell that he is a powerhouse.
Oh yeah.
And he definitely, out of this episode, he got the best deal because he gets Steve that shows up and says, I got $20 million to spend.
Right.
How often do you get that?
Right, right.
Yeah. So anyways, they look at several properties because obviously he's not going to just sell, or he's not going to just buy at one location. So they start at a pre-construction location. And for Steve, it's all about location and view.
Right.
And right off the bat, they're going to get the best deal from that beautiful blonde woman that I'm blanking on her name.
Did you notice how both the women that were shown properties were like hot? You know, I'm like, okay, that's a negotiation.
I'm sure that's not a coincidence. And very smart, too.
Right.
They had the full package.
Distraction factor.
Yeah. And then apparently Chad was friends with the blonde, so that helps to get the best deal. But again, Steve was like location and view, despite the best deal. So my favorite part was he took him up in a helicopter because it was pre-construction. It's not built yet. So
talk about getting creative. We can't see the view because it's pre-construction. So how are we gonna let you know what that looks like? Let's get in a helicopter.
I know. I loved it. And you could tell that Chad was a little bit nervous.
Right.
But he was like, anything I got to do to close the deal.
Right. And what did he make at the very 190?
So for that, he made $198,000.
That'd be worth getting over your fear, I think.
Because that was $6.6 million out of the $20 million.
Right.
And then they went to a second location where we met Yossi, I'm not sure how you say it. Yossi was a character.
Yes.
They were playing with the model, and he was like, stop playing with my model. He just had attitude. And he had a very firm number because they came to him. They said that they wanted 4 units, but to combine 2. And obviously that's extra work for Yossi. So Yossi was like, 5.4 is my number. Chad was 4.4. So that's $1 million difference. That's a really big difference. They kept going back and forth. In the meantime, Yossi was saying that he was mentally ill.
Yeah, I thought, what a
crazy.
Tactic is that? You are mentally ill. like it's gonna shut him down.
I like your accent, Mom. That's good. That's good. And then Chad was like, "I'll buy you dinner." And
he goes, like, dinner? That's $100,000 dinner. That no dinner's $100,000. I mean, it was comical when you think they were $1 million apart, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden they're coming closer, and they're negotiating by $100,000, you know? And then here they are apart, and I love the way Yossi tried to close the deal, and he goes, okay, 4.8 million. Congratulations.
Yeah, and then he puts out his hand.
He doesn't even ask him if it's good. He does the assumption close, right? Congratulations. It's the assumption close. I liked the way they both knew what they were both doing because they actually both kind of smirking at each other.
They did.
Yeah, kind of like, I know what you're doing to me. You're kind of squashing me telling I'm mentally ill. You're doing the assumption close. And they get a little, nope, when I say this is my top price, this is my top price. You know?
You can tell that they enjoy the process. That's why they do what they do because like you said, they were getting a kick out of it.
Right. Like the banter, you know. And back to the whole boy-girl thing and the sandbox thing. You know, I think boys are taught how to do that back and forth in the sandbox. Where, you know, as a girl, you got to learn to be tough. Now, you know, obviously Sam, she's got that going on. Yeah. You know, but you've got to learn how to be tough and not take it personally. You know, especially if somebody calls you mentally ill. That's like.
Totally. And by the way, I had a really good teacher, so I'm super tough, so don't mess with me, all right? I'm kidding, sort of. But anyways, they were able to close that deal.
Right.
Even with that, Steve has some money left over, so I think that's what we're going to be seeing next episode is what he buys.
I just want to know, though, how he got to that much money, because when they gave the background, and they said he's known this client for a long time, and he remembers starting out with him buying $100,000 properties.
From their first relationship.
Property. And then he was talking about the return on investment, you know, being 47% or something like that. Okay, you know, that's $47,000, right? On $100,000. But how do we get from that to $20 million? I mean, obviously Chad's been doing his job.
Oh yeah, he is the top broker for his firm, and he's one of the best, if not the best, in Miami. So he got a really, really good deal for this particular episode. So go, Chad. You made a lot of money, and you popped the question and got engaged.
Now he has the money to buy the ring he needs to buy, right?
Yeah, I think he already had it, but now he could get a little extra big, extra perfect diamond. So if we were picking a winner of the episode, it definitely would be Chad.
Clearly.
But let's move on to Chris. So Chris had an interesting situation, actually a lower listing than he normally does. He normally has larger listings. He was working with Manolo and Jamie, a couple, in Brickwell Avenue, and it was an interesting relationship dynamic because Jamie, she wanted to sell the house. Manolo, not so much. So
but can I just ask a question? How do we know for sure that wasn't their negotiation tactic? You know, because sometimes couples will do that. Good cop, bad cop. Oh, we're in indecision, you know, and then, one says no. And the other one's like, well, I really want to sell. You know, how do we know for
maybe
sure?
it was a producer tactic. You never know is the question.
I'm just saying that could be a good negotiation
I like your conspiracy theories. Keep them coming. So, anyways, they have a 2-story penthouse. Whether Manolo really wants to sell or not, we don't know for sure. He's leading us to believe he doesn't. He really likes it. There's a gorgeous private terrace, water view. And so, of course, they have that open house. They decide on 1.495. This was the first open house that had a health conscious theme.
Yeah.
Like normally there are dancers with little pasties or, you know, like custom made wine bottles and alcohol everywhere, but no alcohol. We had juice.
Well, and yoga on the
terrace,
you know, to show what you could
really
do to use this house. Yeah,
I'm
getting on my realtor. I'm telling you, she's got to come up with some themes like this or something.
What is your realtor seriously needs to watch $1 Million Listing? I'm not sure how they came up with the health conscious theme. Maybe I missed that part, but apparently it worked because they ended up getting two offers. We'll get to that in a second. But Chris said that he thought it was overpriced. So he came back to the couple and he suggested 1.295, which is way $200,000 lower. And Manolo's like, are you kidding me? I didn't even want to sell this to begin with. And now you're coming at me with $200,000 lower. So anyways, they agree to meet in the middle at 1.395, which seemed to be a good decision. Yeah. They got 2 offers, 1.25, not so great, but then 1.3, all cash. They were able to agree on 1.375. So go, Chris.
Yeah. You know, started high. And I like the way he kept educating them. He kept educating them. This is what's around you. This is what's up for sale. Here's what the going price per square foot is. You know, therefore, if you want to sell it, you know, this is the price you need to be at. So really, he used education as a way of getting them where he needed them to be.
I really like Chris. Chris is one of my favorites. I mean, I like them all. I think Chris and Sam are probably my favorites. We're talking to Chad next week, so hopefully he doesn't watch this. I like Chad too. Don't get me wrong. I like Chad. But I think I like that Chris and Sam seem the realest. They seem the most like what you see is what you get. Yeah. And I like Chris's tactic. Who's your favorite?
Well, you know, Sam was delightful. I mean, how could I say I don't like her? I mean, she was great. She was delightful. But I think she's got to get a little more positive thinking, and she's got a little negative thinking going on, and I think you create what you think about. And, you know, and Chris, honestly, you know, he agreed to the higher price, and all along he knew he had to get them lower. I kind of don't like that, honestly. Chad, on the other hand, I think
Chad.
I'm Team Chad because I think he's a straightforward businessman. This is my high price. This is what I need. He thinks about return on investment. He does what they call relationship building. He's had long-term relationship with his clients, obviously has made it work for them. These people that he has to negotiate on the other side of the table with, obviously he has good relationships with, so he can bring packages together. So as far as getting the job done, I say Chad, you go Chad. And you know what? I liked his little initials on his shirt. I thought, you know,
Little character. You know what? I think as entertainers, I like Chris and Sam the best, but I can see to your point that for getting the job done, Chad gets the job done. And let's talk about what a good catch he is for a second and how lucky Jen is, who just got engaged, because he's handsome. He seems like a good guy and successful. He seems like he's got, you know, the full package.
And he's got a boat. I like boats.
And he's got a boat. And lots of great cars. Okay, so now that we've established our favorites, let's go back to Sam just for a little bit. I know we chatted with her, but we didn't really talk specifics about this episode. So this was interesting because this is the first time that she did a lease deal that I saw on this episode. So that was really interesting. But it was strategic on her part because she shows up to this house, Alec and his brother, 18 and 20.
Come on. I mean, first of all, we just have to pause on that one, you know. I mean, can you believe it? That's like unbelievable. And then you look in the bedroom window, which is really a pool, and there's 3 girls swimming. Oh my word.
Could you imagine if you were house shopping? I mean, you're a typical house shopper and you show up and there's an 18 and 20-year-old.
I'm just telling you that if I had kids that age, I don't think I'd have put it in my will for them to have it. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Mom. I'm older than that age, and you probably still wouldn't put it in the will for me.
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna get you to reconsider. We're gonna have a couple glasses of wine later.
Sign on the dotted line right here.
We'll see what we can work out. Okay, anyways, Alec and his brother, great home. They want to get 7.5, which when you look at the comps and the current marketplace and all that, Sam just goes, that's too high. We applaud her for that.
Right. I like that.
For telling them the truth.
Is how it is.
This is improvement for Sam to say it how it is. She suggests renting for $25 a month. And she actually said this is a strategic move for both of them because for them, they're making money while the value of the house goes up.
She'll make a double commission.
And then she'll make double commission.
Right.
And I know somebody else who's doing something similar
That's
now.
I rented my $1 million house to the pitcher of the Brewers. I can't say his name on the air, but
I'm sure they can just Google.
Well, there's several
the picture.
There's several pictures.
Your poker face is not for good. No. But great tactic.
It works.
If
Sam,
our
you go,
professional Sam is suggesting it, clearly you're doing a great thing. So, yeah, that is great. And then, a couple other things that came out is that something we talked to her about, and that's going with a bigger company. And it seems like you're against that for her. You think that she should just keep with her current company.
Well, what I thought I heard, the way she was talking about it, she really wants, she said, I love having my own business, but, and then I hear this but afterwards, which is believing she could get these bigger listings if she went with a different company. And so that's why I gave her that phrase of, how might I keep my current company, if that's what I really want to do, and get these bigger listings. And I think there's a way of doing it besides working hard, because I hear one of her strategies is you got to hustle, you got to work hard, you can't take a day off. I think there's other strategies, and she's just got to open up her mind in the field of possibilities.
Call her, Sam.
Call me, Sam.
You got her number. If you need some business coaching.
Wehrley, can you spell it? It's so hard.
And you know what? I'm sure being a part of this show is going to help her too. That should give her the extra confidence. You know, that's an amazing marketing tool. I really think that if she decides to go that route, I will tell you what my prediction is in a second. But if she decides to go that route, I think she can be successful.
But
personally.
you hit on the key. It's about confidence. It's about, I mean, when you look at the difference, in my opinion, between Chad, Chris, and Sam, Chad has confidence. I mean, here this guy's across the table beating him up, telling him he's mentally ill, you know, and he's like 007. I just wanted to see him smoke a cigarette and just go like, you know, really? You think I'm mentally ill? Okay, I'm sticking at 4.7. You know, you just have to have that center and, you know, just know where your bottom line is.
She even knows she's got a lot of room to grow, and really, in the grand scheme of things, she's kicking butt. She's going to figure it out. I'm not going to lose sleep for Sam. I think she's
great.
Going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, the way it turned out, a guy, I believe his name's Mark from Australia, he comes to see Alec and his brother's home. He loves it. And the only thing is he doesn't want to sign a year lease. He wants to do 6 months. Sam kicks in her negotiation.
No, actually, he says 4 months, right?
Yeah, he said less.
4 months.
He said even less, like 3 or 4 months.
So we saw this throughout the whole show where somebody, you know, he probably secretly thought 6 months, but they always say they want less. This one's going for a year, and they meet somewhere in the middle. So the moral of the story is always say you want either. You're going to negotiate and meet somewhere in the middle. And I love the way they went back and forth. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, boom. That's
part of what's so entertaining about this show is the negotiation process. Right. Absolutely. So you're right. They landed on 6 months, but Sam, being the good negotiator, she says $35,000. Alec was not totally enthused at first, but then when she put in perspective, like, you are going to make money while it's on the market, essentially, and then it's going to go up in value in 6 months. This is a good deal for you. They agree. She makes $21,000 in commission. Go Sam.
Yeah, go Sam. That was awesome. Yeah, I love the way she gave him something, but then she asked for something back. You can have the 6 months then, but then I need 10,000 more. And I love the way she didn't say per month. I just need 35.
Yeah.
That was great tactic.
I'm sure there's some kind of
it just sounds
psychology
like 35,
behind
you know,
it.
versus 35 a month.
So it's that time for predictions. And we play this music, and it gets really eerie and exciting.
Predictions.
Okay, so my prediction is that she is going to go with the company.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to very well could happen next episode
she said
for the
change.
finale.
So what else could be big change?
That's what's going to happen.
She said big change growth, and I think what she's trying to tell us is she did decide to go with the big company. And you know what? There's not a right or wrong decision here. As long as she ends up being happy about it and she believes that this is the thing that's going to get her to the next level, that's all that really matters.
And Chad, he's going to sell the rest of that $20 million he's working with, so he's going to have a nice payday.
He's got a rock to pay for now.
Yeah, he's going to have another nice payday. And I think we're going to see some relationship development with Chris. Now, Chris is gay, and we haven't seen him date any guys yet, but he alluded to it in our conversation that we had on the phone a couple weeks ago. So I'm really excited to see that because I love talking to Chris. He's such a sweet guy, and I want to see him be happy. So I think that's going to happen too.
Well, there you go.
Any other predictions you
have? You have it all figured out. You know what? You have always been intuitive. I believe you.
Okay, just trust me.
That's what I've always said. I believe you. If you feel it, I believe you.
Cool. Okay, tell our viewers and listeners how they can learn more about you.
Oh, how nice is that? Well, I have the same last name as Alex. I'm Susan Wehrley. And
that's spelled Wehrley. Well, she knows what I'm doing here.
Yeah,
our last name is pretty hard to spell.
Actually, because nobody can spell Wehrley, I just made my website solutionsbysusan.com. I figured that was a lot easier than trying to look up my name. Solutionsbysusan.com. So if you can either look me up by Susan Wehrley or solutionsbysusan.com, you can learn all about me that way.
She loves Facebook. She's a Facebook addict.
Or LinkedIn,
but especially Facebook.
That's just to show off my grandbaby. I have a new grandbaby, and
I like adorable kids. Not mine. I don't have kids. My sister has an adorable daughter. So if you like looking at cute kids, then look her up on Facebook.
You have to have balance in your life, right?
But professionally, solutionsbysusan.com or LinkedIn is probably the best. And as always, you can find me at Alex Wehrley on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/Alex Wehrley on Facebook. And that's it. Thanks so much.
How fun was this? You're the best. You're the best. High five,
Glad having you in town.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
How fun was this?
We'll see you next week for the finale.
I hope you had half as much fun as I did.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.